situated. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 31. I have the number correct this time of the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff and I'm the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the podcast, supporting the shop. It really means a lot to me and to all of us here at the Modern Skein, which is really me, my husband, who is one of my dyers that I stock in the shop, and Grace, my employee. So thank you so much for tuning in, following, subscribing, all that fun stuff. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, very much a huge, very tongue-twisted and warm welcome to you. You can subscribe to the podcast by clicking below. There is a subscribe button. If you think you're subscribed but it still says subscribe, you have not been subscribed. So just a little housekeeping note there. If you want to get a notification each time I upload a podcast, which is typically once per week, try to upload them Tuesday or Wednesday, but lately I've been having some uploading issues and it has been taking longer than normal, so sometimes they don't show up in your feed till Wednesday. But you can click, I didn't tell you how to get notifications. You can click the little bell down below. I think it's right next to the subscribe button, and the bell will give you a notification that says there's a new podcast uploaded by Sharon Graff. So, we have a lot to cover in a short amount of time because I have a deadline today because I'm filming this before the shop opens, and so I have to get it done in a certain period of time. And I will be posting to Instagram the pile that is on the table right now because we've gotten in so much yarn. It is amazing how much yarn we've gotten in. So much yarn. So much yarn. So, we'll dive right into the usual, and sorry I'm messing with my hair. It's gotten seemingly super long overnight. No, this isn't a hair podcast, but I'm going to get it cut next week. But look how long. My hair's normally not that long. You didn't care about that. So let's jump right into finished objects. This is a finished object for the store, however, it was not knit by me, and so it is quite lovely, because I get a finished object, and I didn't really have to do any of the work, except pick out colors, which is pretty awesome. So we have a wonderful sample knitter named Sarah, and she is going to be doing some samples for the shop and for Red Stag Fiber specifically, to kind of boost up the samples that are in the store because I can't just knit everything as much as I want to because as the store has been getting busier, I have less and less time to knit, which is a very good thing, but it just means I need a sample knitter, which is awesome. So the first thing she got done for us is the Hoo Hooey shawl by Joji Locatelli. I'm going to show this to you. It is stunning. So for those of you that want a nice spring, light, lacy but not difficult shawl, this is so perfect. So it's not super deep. You can obviously make it deeper. She used around about a half skein of each color. There's 3 colors. So you could obviously, especially this last part, just keep going before you bind off to make a deeper shawl. But it is gorgeous. She said it's not a difficult pattern really whatsoever. There's a lot of just simple garter stitch and then a very simple lace pattern. But it gives you a really unique shape and you get these fun little twirls at the end, so it's really easy, even though this doesn't go with what I'm wearing. Give you an idea of how you could wear it. Just super simple kerchief style. And see how these just kind of do their own thing. You don't have to mess with it. It's super cute and it's really nice and light. So this is knit out of Red Stag Fiber, the merino fingering base, which is the estate base. And the colors we have here, this is Stonewall, this is the deep graphite color. And then it moves into mixing Stonewall and Cobblestone, which is the signature gray. And then you have Cobblestone and this lovely lace. And then it finishes off with French Waistcoat, which is that cornflower powder blue. It's reading a little brighter on screen than it is in person. It's a little more dusty color in person, but it is a beautiful shawl. Any 3 colors of fingering weight. It does not have to be solid. You could do really gorgeous speckles. You could fade. You can do all sorts of things with this shawl. This is a great springtime pattern because it gives you a little bit of warmth, but with the lace it's still nice and light and breezy. Yeah, so like I said, any 3 colors, or if you wanted to do it just 1 color, you totally could. You would just need about a skein and a half of yarn total to make sure you had enough to finish it in just 1 color. Let's see here. So that is the only finished object that I have. But I did bring a few works in progress with me today. Not that I can really ever knit them on them here in the shop, but I'll let you see them. So first off is my What the Fade. And of course I'm in the middle of a row because I did try and work on it here, and well, that just happened. So I have completed the brioche section. You can see it's faded down, and now I'm working into the garter fade section. So it starts off with my darkest and last color, which is Hawk, and now we're fading in the Juniper. So start at the top here. This kind of deep dark mustardy brown color is Antique Leather by Red Stag, and then we move into Honeycomb by Ching Fibers. And then we have, hold on, let me get it right. That should be, yeah. So this is Dijon. I always get Dijon and Cereal mixed up. This is Dijon by Hedgehog Fibers. This is Cereal, which is a more muted version. And then you have Juniper, and then lastly Hawk. So this is making some progress, and I am hoping to have it done by the end of this month. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I have started, I think I mentioned this either last podcast or a couple podcasts ago. I started off the year not really making knitting goals for myself, and I really need at least some finish goals or some timing goals for myself, so that I don't get bogged down or end up with languishing whips. So my goal right now is to finish 2 whips per month, and only cast on 1 whip per month. I think I already failed that this month though, because I've cast on 2 things. When did I cast that on? Yeah, that was February. So I've already cast on 2 things this month. Oops, but 1 will be done. Actually, both should be done. So let me show you what I've cast on. What I did last night is another store sample. This is, oh, it's hard to see. Red Stag Fiber. This is the Her Majesty's Navy colorway, so it's deep, dark, rich navy. And this is the BFL DK base. We currently just have the BFL DK, but the Marine Estate, which is the Merino DK, is going to be coming very soon. So I cast on the, I think it's Yes Checks or Checks Please. It's actually a free pattern by Stephen West. Just popped on Ravelry not too long ago. And it's this really neat checkered hat pattern. So it's really simple. He just gives you the math to make sure your checks all line out in the right spot. And it's kind of like a slouchy beanie. You can see here you have like stockinette sections and the reverse stockinette, so you have basically knits and purls. And you continue in this pattern for a certain amount of repeats, and then you start decreasing for the crown. There's no ribbing on this, which is nice, because it will just be a nice snug little beanie style hat. Josh actually, while he likes ribbing, because of how he typically folds over the brim and shoves it way down over his ears, he likes something that isn't too tight over his ears, but make sure his ears stay covered for the wind or cold. So I think this will be a nice hat. He will borrow it. It will be a store sample, but I know he will borrow it if the weather gets cold, because it's his yarn and he should. So that is in progress. I did that last night, so not bad. Basically, I'm on to the third repeat out of I don't know how many, but did that. Then I also got a few rounds in on my Gateway to Rustic cowl. I do not remember if I showed this last time or not, and it's all tangled up in my power cord, but I'll try to. Come on. Okay. Well, let's see if we can't just untangle this. There we go. And here we go. Okay. So the Gateway to Rustic is another free pattern by Espace Tricot, and it's this really pretty colorwork cowl. So the idea is to use a skein of rustic wool and a skein of hand-dyed wool, and then you line it with, the original pattern is mohair held double. We are going to line it with Castle Surrey by Red Stag Fiber, which is the brushed baby Surrey, so it's way thicker than mohair. You can kind of see that there. It will act like double, so you could easily use this, or like a double mohair. You can use the Castle Surrey by Red Stag, or you could use the Melted Baby Surrey by Qing Fiber. Both very similar in weight. Qing is just a wee bit thicker. They've added a little merino to the Surrey alpaca and silk blend. This is just Surrey alpaca and silk. That's the main difference really between the two. Because I know I've had people asking, because you can tell that the Melted Baby Surrey is just a wee bit thicker than this, even though this is so much thicker than mohair. And that's really the only difference. The Qing Fiber has a little added merino, I think, to bulk it up a little bit, and then this just has the Baby Surrey and silk core. So this is the pattern. It's a great simple introduction to color work, because you have just a 2x2 repeat. Very, very simple. Also great if you're wanting to practice two-handed color work. So if you're unfamiliar with two-handed color work, that's basically you hold one color in one hand, one color in the other, do two stitch. Well, in this pattern, it's 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 2 stitches. And so it's a good practice piece to work on your tension for color work, different ways of holding it. And so let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on the 4th out of 5 of these pattern repeats. So I'm almost at the end. I probably have about that much left to go, I would imagine. And then you do a provisional cast on. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving away too many details. But you do a provisional cast on, and then you continue on and you knit the lining, and then it's I think it's either a sewn or a 3-needle bind off to close it in, so you hide all of your floats. They're never seen or get caught with this either double mohair or Surrey lining. And so it's a really neat pattern. I am using it for our rustic wool. I'm using our new wool that we just got in, and I'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. This is Kelbourne Woolens Scout. So this is not a hand-dyed yarn. And so you've heard me talk before that we are an exclusively hand-dyed store. We are, meaning that we will always be 95% hand-dyed wool, or yarn. Not just wool, obviously. But I do know that there are many of you that need yarn in a little bit lower price point, or yarn that you want a really high quality yarn, but you don't necessarily want a hand dyed. You want a solid or mostly solid yarn. And while there are a lot of hand dyers out there, U2, Happy Go Knitty, Red Stag, Yarn Carnival, that do some great semi-solids and tonal yarns. This is a great option for a lower cost but still amazingly high quality yarn. So this is Scout. This is their sport base, but I am using it in this pattern as a substitute for fingering, and I'm getting gauge. It's wonderful. You can also substitute it as a light DK as well. It blooms beautifully, and it's, for being a slightly rustic wool, it is so soft. It is just as soft as any of the hand dyeds I have here, or the merinos. It's so nice, and you get 274 yards. So it is considered a sport weight. Like I said, you can use it as a heavy fingering or a light DK as well. But the skein of this is just $16. So you get a big bang for your buck, and we have a lot of solid colors. So it's great for color work. It's great to use this as like a base for a sweater and then add some hand dyes or specklings, or a base for a pattern and add a skein of hand dyed for some pop. There's just a lot of options. So we don't currently have all the colors of Kelbourne woolens, of Scout, but we are going to be getting them. But I have quite a few, and I'll show you those in a moment. But yeah, so that's Gateway to Rustic. And that is my only whips that I brought with me. Is that cowl? Oh, so then the other, I didn't finish telling you the yarn. The other yarn I'm using is Hedgehog Fibers, the sock base, and this is Dragonfly. And then, of course, the lining will be the Castle Surrey from Red Stag Fiber, and this is the Scottish Thistle colorway. And the color of the Scout that I'm using is called Plum Heather. It's a deep dark purple. Okay, so now that we've covered whips, I'm going to dive right into the yarn. So like I mentioned, we have Kelbourne woolens. It's $16 a skein, and we have tons of colors, and there's a few more colors coming. So we have the Plum Heather, which is that deep dark purple, and all the colors are just slightly heathered like this, so they're solid, but they give a rich tonal play. This is called Coral Heather. Beautiful bright spring color. We have Moss Heather, gorgeous deep dark olive green. This is Juniper Heather. This is more of a bluey green. It's not really teal, it's definitely green, but it does not have an olive undertone. This is teal. This is definitely teal. This is beautiful, rich, saturated color. We have Charcoal, which is your almost black. We have the Oatmeal, perfect nude, beige, great for color work or sweater bases. We have Meadow Heather, which is a really nice, light, kind of springy Kelly green almost. Then we have Mint, super bright and springy. We have, this is Strawberry Heather, so kind of a dusty red, really cute. And this is the last one. Yes, this is the last one. And this is Orchid, nice pink. There's a few more grays and blue colorways that are coming, and I think a pink perhaps, but those should be in by the end of the month. So, okay, next thing on the list is we have new Red Stag Fiber. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee. Side note, coffee shop next door is now officially open, so if you haven't been by the store lately, you can now run over to the coffee shop, get you a wonderful cappuccino or latte, or if it's hot, a frozen beverage. They also have local kombucha and like the flavored Pellegrino waters, tea, full variety of tea. They have freshly baked scones, they have sandwiches, chicken salad, tons of stuff. So Bean Punk Coffee right next door. It's a great place if you're coming to sit and knit, if you want to grab a snack in the afternoon or grab a light lunch. Perfect. They also have tons of pastries, which is really nice. And I try not to go get a pastry every single day. I've actually been pretty good. I do get coffee though. Okay, back back to yarn and knitting and all the awesomeness. So Red Stag Fiber, I don't like it when my ear does that. It looks weird. Sorry. We have a new base. We actually have 2 new bases, but this first one is called Dachas Sock. Dachas, and that's spelled D-A-C-H-A-S. And if you know anything about Red Stag Fiber, you know that Josh's inspiration is Old World Europe, Old World, basically anywhere that was known in the Old World, medieval times. And so Dachas is a blend of 70% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 10% nylon. So Dachas actually means, what does it mean? It's a Russian palace, I believe. It's like the name, it's like what you would call either a Russian palace or a Russian country home. And so all of the base names are after different types of either homes or palaces or estates around that would have been called in the not ancient times, but in the medieval 16, 17, 1800 range. So we have Dachas, and it is a fingering or sock base because it does have a nylon content. Check out the new label. It's so cute. 437 yards, and we have a couple colors so far. So this is a new one called Lock, and it's this deep blue with a hint of teal. Really pretty. We have French waistcoat. Now you'll notice this French waistcoat is quite a bit darker, and that's because the yak itself is a colored yarn. It's not a cream or white yarn. And so any color that's dyed on the Dachas base will come out quite a bit darker and richer. So this is French waistcoat. This is Celadon, which is funny because this is what Celadon normally looks like. But again, that deep dark yarn gives an earthiness to it. So that's Celadon on the yak. This is Kelvingrove on yak. And this is also a new color. This one is Red Stag. It's just a beautiful tomatoey red. Okay, then his other new base is Aran weight, 100% merino Aran weight. So a nice, you can sub it in for worsted or use it as a traditional Aran weight. So this is Celadon. We also have it on Red Stag. So again, that beautiful tomato red. We have it on Barleyfield, beautiful gold, and a Classic. Now Classic is not the same as Passport. A Classic is brown. So it's reading a little burgundy on here, but it is a brown shade. Is that all the, oh nope. We also have the new color Lock on on the Estate Aran base. Okay, then let's see. Then he dyed up some Chateau, which is the cashmere nylon MCN. We have Antique Leather. I love this color. We have nope, that's the wrong base. Wrong base. Wrong base. I got all these bases mixed up. There we go. Gorm. Great Spring Blue. This is a bit more teal than French Waistcoat and brighter. French Waistcoat is definitely a dusty cornflower blue. This is a lot brighter. And then we have Provincial, which is the speckly with the greens and the lights and the grays and the blues. So pretty. And then Antique Linen. It's hard to read on here, but it's a gray, taupe, and cream variegated. Then we have Stonegate. And that's all the new colors on Chateau. Then I've got some new colors on, or not new, well one's new, but some reboots of some original colors on the Estate Fingering, which is just 100% superwash merino. This is 490 yards, so it's very generous on the base. So jasper, you can see this batch of jasper is super saturated. Lovely. Also not quite as pink, a little more red, which I really like. Looks more like the jasper stone. It's really pretty. We have Sky on Fire back. Oh, I just love this. Super rich purples and reds and burnt oranges blending together. Love it. We have Sky on Fire's lighter cousin, Vibrant Sky. Do a great fade with these. Vibrant Sky is just a way brighter, a little less purple. There's bits of purple, but it's lighter and less of it. Then we have Embers back. Then Coyote is back. Love Coyote. It works up so pretty. And then a new color, which I actually came up with the name of it because as soon as I saw it drying, I was like, oh, this looks like a velvet tapestry. And it's like, that's a good name. So we have Velvet Tapestry. It's this rich milk chocolatey brown with these blues and purples and mauve tones, and there's like these almost like raspberry colors in it. So rich, but yet very soft. And to me, it reminds me of velvet and milk chocolate. It's a good Valentine's color. Which I can't remember if I don't think he's doing a Valentine's color this year. I'll have to find out. Time's running out. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Okay, moving on. I don't even know where to begin. We have so much yarn here. So this is a brand new dyer to us. You've probably seen them on Instagram or on some designers' feeds. They are extremely popular right now. And she has just absolutely drop-dead gorgeous yarn. The brand is Life in the Long Grass, and this is an Irish brand. The dyer's name is Caroline, and she does have a team of people working with her, I believe mostly family. And they dye yarn in the countryside of Ireland. And so that's where they get their name from, Life in the Long Grass of Ireland. And this is the Fine Sock, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. The stitch definition on this yarn is absolutely outstanding, and it's a perfect fingering or sock yarn. It also has just this lovely softness to it, which sometimes you don't get with a nylon blend. I mean, it's so nice, and the drape is amazing. It's also very generous skein. It is 460 yards for a sock yarn. That's like usually about 30 more yards than normal, and it is $29. So for an overseas hand-dyed yarn, you're getting quite a good deal. We got in, so the way that she works is she has a new batch of colors every season. She's very much inspired by nature, her surroundings, where she lives and everything. So she goes through new color palettes every season. And so we got in basically one of every color, not one, but every single color that she's dyed up for the spring season. So we have 44 colors on this sock base. And we have not yet sold out of any color, one color. We are getting close on several colors though. So if you want it, you need to get it. They are completely now online in our system. So if you want to place an online order, absolutely, I'd say grab it before it's gone. There is quite a bit of a wait for this. I won't get my next batch until the fall. So if you see something you want, I would recommend getting it now because it probably won't last very long, especially once I get it up on the wall. Right now it's just been sitting on the table because it's taken me 2 days to get it all in inventory, and people have been buying it, just coming in and grabbing skeins and going. So I'm going to try and run through all the colors here. There's 44 colors. They all pair with one another beautifully. You can come up with gorgeous fades, gorgeous just contrasting colors. It's gorgeous. So I don't even know where to start. Start here. This one is called Moorlands. Just stunning. Kind of a sea foamy with greens and golds and teals. Just beautiful. Moorlands. This is Autumn Leaf. This one is called Flax. Beautiful, bright, springy color. This one is Mineral. This one's been popular. I think I only have 2 of these left. This is Autumn. This is not the same as Autumn Leaf, so this is more solid, but it pairs with Autumn Leaf really well. This is Prairie. Beautiful wildflower looking color. This is Simper. Beautiful dusty pale pink. Cantaloupe. I think I only have 2 of these left too. Shadow. Beautiful color. Real moody. Anthracite. I love this one. This one is Henna Rose. Again, I believe I only have 2 of these left. Or maybe I have 3 of those. This is Antique. And Lush. That's a fun one. Then we have Space Ash. Super speckled. Fun one. This is Hillside. Beautiful Irish green, if I ever saw one. This is Lichen. Beach Grass. Love this one. Andasol. I only have 2 of these. Or no, I have 3 of these. Andasol. Amethyst. Beautiful color. This is Bath. This color reminds me of Suburban Stitcher. Just right in her color palette. This is Light Beam. Super sorbet, sherbety kind of colors. This is a fun one. And I only have 2 of these left. Rose Quartz. Very vibrant. This one's Wheat. Really super multi-speckled on just a nice taupey brown. Sky Loop. Another vibrant one. Reach over here. Then we have Foliage. Gorse. And Glimmer. My personal favorite of the whole batch, I know, so predictable, Cauldron. Stellar, beautiful rich royal blue. Powder. Crush. Soul Skin. Space Opera. This one is super nice too. Evergreen. probably is my second favorite. Terracotta. Love that. Wolf. That's really pretty. Reflect. Concord. Antler. Beautiful color. Floral. Blowing out a bit. This is a really pale color, but really pretty. Cactus Moon Soil. I love the name of that. Storyteller. Really pretty. And I already said Crush. Shield. So those are all the colors of Life in the Long Grass. Like I said, they are up on the website. You can order online now. All of those colors. All of the colors of Red Stag Fiber will get on the online store today. So some are already up. I know Jasper is up. And the restock of the colors we already had are up, but some of the new ones aren't because I need to photograph them. I need to take pictures of them. Can't talk. Okay, the other thing we got in is a restock of Twill and Print pins and some new pins. So the pins we got restocked on, so I'm throwing them around. Sleeve Island. Perfect for all of you participating in our sweater knit along. Places You Can Knit. One Stitch at a Time. And both of the skin tones of the Craft Queen. So those have been restocked. We also got in some new pins. We got in the Steeker Seeker pin. Make, Wear, Mend. Rainy Days Are Meant for Knitting. Super cute. And then the Row Counter pins in silver and gold. Then we got restocked on Progress Keepers as well. So we got the Little Sheep and the Slow Knitter Snail back in stock. And we also got in for the first time the Alpaca Progress Keeper and the little glittery black sheep. So sparkly. Then we got in these new Progress Keepers. These are super helpful if you're knitting sweaters or a pattern repeat that you're having trouble with, but they're just little fun things. So let's start off with these. These are the beginning of round. Basically everything comes in a white glitter background or a solid high polish. So these say BOR, so these are great for sweater knitting. So then you need to mark your beginning of round. This is how you can do it. This is a nice little separate marker from the rest of your stitch markers that you may have on there. We also have right side, wrong side in both the glitter stars and the shields. So right side, wrong side. We also have the knit and purl. Oh, we have another Progress Keeper. The Yarn Bomb, that's a new one for a Progress Keeper. We also have the pin as well for that. Then we have our little decrease sets. So you have SSK and Knit 2 Together. And then we have the increase set, which gives you make one right, make one left, and yarn over. Whew! That is everything that I have to show you today. As far as events going on, we of course are continuing our sweater knit along. There's quite a few of you guys doing great progress on our sweaters. We also have a trunk show February 25th with Interloop Dye Works. She's an indie dyer from inside the loop of Houston, Texas, so I hope you'll come out and show some support to her. And then we also, of course, are gearing up for our 1-year anniversary, which will be celebrated March 8th and 9th. We will have Diane from Suburban Stitcher here doing a 2-day trunk show on both March 8th and 9th. We will also have another pop-up shop with Red Stag Fiber, who will be here as well, March 8th and 9th. We will have tons of new items in the store. So if you're in the store and you see mail delivery, most likely from now on, you're not going to be able to see what's inside the box until the big day. So bear with me on that. We have tons of new items coming in. Some things that we've never had before in the shop. We have some custom things that makers are making for us. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have giveaways all day during the day. We're going to have free items with purchase. It's just going to be a blast. So I really hope you would turn out for the anniversary, either on March 8th or March 9th. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to have snacks. We're going to have cookies. We're going to have just all sorts of yumminess. There's coffee next door. So it's going to be a blast. So thank you so much for tuning in. All of the details for contacting us are going to be scrolling at the end of this. You can always find us on Instagram at The Modern Skein, or myself at Mrs.Sharon_Graf, Graff. Our website is themodernskein.com, and email is themodernskein@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in the shop or seeing an online order from you pop in soon. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.